Ada.
We wait for the educators first. I would like to remind to you all, the educators will go into the room at 12:30. So you guys have time if you guys want to discuss. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kindly, yes, all right. And good afternoon, everyone. So before we start the debate, I would like to ask all of the debaters to state your name and your position, starting from the government side. The government side, are you there? Can you introduce yourself to the educators? Educator.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Isnur Mirza and I'm going to represent the first speaker of the government team.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Irina Sofia and I am going to present the second speaker of the government team.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Dinajla. I'm the third speaker from the government team.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Taqif Razik bin Yaqub. I am the opposite team. I am the first speaker of the opposite team.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Ainir Wahyun and I am the Deputy Leader of Opposition from TSU. Thank you.
My name is Nuri Matfusha. I am the third speaker from the opposition.
All right, the House will come to order. I am pleased to welcome you all to this third round of Inter-Tamhidi Debate Competition 2022. I would like to remind the members of the floor, they may only raise points of information in the constructive speech and only after the first minute and before the last minute of speech. Also, please ensure that your internet connection is stable and your voice is audible. Are there any inquiries before we start? No. All right. With that, I call upon the Prime Minister to deliver her speech. The floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to the respected moderator, cautious timekeeper, honorable judges, members of the government team, and members of the opposite team. Thank you so much for your time given. I'm Isnureen as the first speaker from the government team. First of all, I would love to introduce my team splits for today's motion, in which I, as the first speaker, would like to give the definition and give opinions from the knowledge perspective. And the second speaker will deliver opinions from the misconception of the feminism. And the third speaker will give rebuttal and strengthening the team's arguments. We, as the government sides, believe that this motion, which is the feminist movement in the developing world, should integrate religious message into their advocacy because woman itself must be given and gender equality by rights. Before I put forward my case today, I would like to define today's motion, which is this House believes that feminism movement in the developing world should be integrate religious messages into their advocacy. According to the Oxford Dictionary, feminism meaning is that advocacy of the rights of women which based on the theory of equality of the sexes. This feminism means that we believe that women should be allowed to have the same rights, the same power, and the same opportunities as men got treated. Feminism is also the belief that women has hope to change the life of theirs. To start, Islam has taught us to treat women's rights, has taught us to be equal. And this has been mistook by the society itself as many women nowadays are just ordered to stay at home, cooking for their husband, shouldn't couldn't pursue their own studies and so on. Moreover, this misconception has stopped many women's dream. One of the findings or one of the sharing that I found is that South Asian religion Megan Robb has discussed about the feminism potential influence. She stated that with the misconception, she hadn't had any opportunities until much late in life, and she's hoping that her child and grandchildren has the ability to get a broader view of the world. Members of the hall, I'm going to talk about how Islamic feminism as a diverse movement emerged against what it saw as the Western feminism lacks of diversity in perspective. Islamic feminism was also a tendency to structure a version of feminism around a set of concerns that fit Muslim women. I'll talk about how Islamic feminism engaged with the Islam and apologetically. There's one major strand that I'm going to talk about, which is an exegetical approach focusing on Quranic interpretation. So there's a section of the Quran that talks about the importance of the power that a man has over a woman, and this is what is quoted from the Quran. O human, we created you from a single pair of a male and a female, and made you into nation and tribes that you may know each other, not that you may despise each other. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of God is the one who is most gracious of you. For example, this passage do shows that gender difference is not something that is pathologized in the Quran. Even from what I remembered from my learning session during my high school, I also been taught that women should be treated high, should be treated right, because even the Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also asked the men to respect the woman. So I think that this feminism movement is one of right things to do, because yeah, this shouldn't be misconceived by most people. Um, Also in advance, as a conclusion, we from the government side strongly believes that with the motion that this house believes that feminist movement in the developing world should be integrate religious messages into their advocacy. That's all from me. I'm passing the floor to the first speaker of the opposite team. Thank you.
Thank you to the Prime Minister for the speech. The speaker spoke for 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Now I would like to call upon Leader of Opposition to deliver her or his speech. The floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to all adjudicators, timekeepers, and to all my fellow debaters. So the topic for our debate is that the House believe that feminist movements in the developing world should integrate religious messages into their advocacy. Okay. So we disagree with the definition given by the opposition. However, we, the negative team, believe that this statement is false, and we not agree. So today, the first speaker from the affirmative team has tried to tell us that women should be get an equality same as men. So for me, I not say that this is wrong, but I think it is quite bit contradict with the religious norms, which means in Islam or in I think regardless religion, it already been told that a man should be the leader among the women. So I think it is quite so I think the feminism movement is quite contradict with the religious norms. So right now feminism is an ideology that aims to establish the equality of men and women in various areas of our daily lives. That includes political, social, as well as economic perspectives. Feminism has become quite popular over the past decade. But I'm questioning myself why feminism is not that accepted, is not being accepted among our society. So from my point of view, I think it is because feminism is quite excessively stand with their own opinion. Because I think because feminism movement simply is only human's opinion. It's only human's opinion, and religion opinion should not be contradicted with. Basically, it's only a human perspective in order how to satisfy society. Okay. When analyzing the concept of feminism, one can see that it has had positive and negative impact on society. So for me, on other hand, in many people's opinion, that there have also been some negative impacts of feminism in society, such as the increase of promiscuity in women shunning the concept of marriage, as well as causes controversy regarding abortion and the pill, all of which has taken derive thanks to feminism.
A point of information. May I add? Let's say about how can a woman feed up themselves if their husband is not well educated, and if the woman itself is well educated but she couldn't manage to pursue into a better education, so it's useless.
Sorry, can you repeat again?
So let's say you don't support the feminism. So let's say the woman in their marriage life, the husband do not have a good education level. So how can the husband wants to support the marriage? I don't understand.
How to support in what terms?
I mean like a woman and a man got married, but the husband is not well educated and not get a proper job, and the woman is well educated but couldn't get any proper better education. So
Okay, so I think I will answer it later. But regarding to our topic, we should be acknowledged that feminism's opinion is only humans matter. It's only how do we satisfy our, or how we should voice our opinions in regard to settlement, because for the nature of law itself, any man made law, any man rule look like law and act like a rule look like law and act like law, but contradict with God's law are simple, not laws at all. Okay, I think it's relatable enough for this topic, for this motion, because like I said, we could not misinterpret the definition or the way of our religions already stated that how we should how we should stand with our opinion. So for an example, feminism's rights are sometimes restricted because of social and religious norms. For example, Hanafi Sunni school, unlike the other Sunni schools, gives women the legal capacity to be her own wali. In other words, to marry without the consent of her wali or male guardian. But society attaches to this a taint of shamelessness despite the legal parameters. This reflects society's reluctance to equate the observance of legal rights with approved behavior. So,
Point of view. POI, please. Point of view. POI, please. So you say that.
Okay, POI dismissed, rejected. Okay, so for the POI given, I think the women that plan to get divorced due to the fact that that her husband is not well educated enough and doesn't earn money that much. I think the woman itself should know what she should be doing. Just follow like the religious matter, but not in a feminism way. I mean, if you use the feminism way, it might be contradict and it might be excessively run from the religious method. So I think that's all for me. So in conclusions, I briefly said that feminism movements in the developing world should not integrate religious messages into their advocacy. So thank you, that's all for me.
Thank you to the leader of opposition for the speech. The speaker spoke for 6 minutes and 10 seconds, I think. Now I would like to call upon the Deputy Prime Minister to deliver her speech. The floor is yours.
Good morning to the educators, my fellow members and members of the floor. Today's motion is about this House believes that the feminist movement in the developing world should integrate religious messages into their advocacy. We in the government sides believe that the motion, which is the feminist movement in the developing world, should integrate religious message into their advocacy because women itself must be given a gender equality by rights. Okay, first I would like to rebut some of the points from the opposition sides. from the Prime Minister, he said that the 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 motion itself is contradict with the religious norm. Basically, religious norm is something that it is stated before that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that women should be elevated. The right of the woman itself should be elevated, and women should be respected, not to be thrown in the house, just do some chores and just do nothing about it. Okay. Then my second rebut is about man's simply human opinion cannot include religious perspective, such as abortion. I disagree with this perspective because feminism is not about human thinking. It's not about human. It's not about human opinion. It's basically we should include with the religion that we can actually create something. Feminism is something that the right of the woman itself being elevated, that being respected, not being just at home. Like such in India, they didn't. The right of woman is being oppressed, and they were just at home. They do nothing. They just do laundry. They just cooking. They don't do anything. They don't work. How are they supposed to get some money if they don't even work? Okay. Moving on to my first point. The first point, my first point, which is the second point of the government side, is moral values that contain in the religion itself can educate the public about the feminism itself. Why do I say this? Because in Islam it says that Prophet Muhammad elevate, we must respect the woman, because the woman, the right of the woman, the dignity of the woman itself is should be respected by a man. Like if you see a pregnant woman, we must give seat to them. If they wanted to work, we should let them work, because gender equality. Why we can't even give some work to the woman while the man can do, like man can be a contractor, but though the woman couldn't, because you can see that the woman is weak. No, we're not weak. Okay, so like I said before, that women itself, they need to be respected by the public. The public opinion itself must change about the woman. The perspective of the woman. Women should not be oppressed. Women should not be just at home cooking, doing laundry. Just like I said before, in the India, the right of the woman is being oppressed. They could not even work. They could not even do something like could actually let them have their own life. Like they can't even work. They can't even do some work like the man did. All they just do, that the Indian woman is believed just to stay at home, babysitting, being a mom. All they do is just sit at home, do nothing. Okay, so I believe that man and woman should be equal rights in equal gender equality, because what did the man do, the female should also get it. Okay, moving on to my next point. When we include the religious messages into the advocacy of the woman itself, we can gain a lot of supporters. We know that 90%, almost half of the Malaysian society is a Muslim. And when we include about the religion itself, when we include about Islam in the advocacy, when we talk about advocacy and we include the religious message in the we include the Islam itself in the message, in the advocacy about fighting for women rights, it could actually help. It could persuade the public and change their perspective about the woman right itself. Because a lot of people didn't even understand what is the meaning of feminism actually. They just thought like feminism, we just need to we thought that woman is right doing this because they couldn't do it. We know that they were weak and they can't even do anything. So we can actually educate the public, and we can actually support that. We can actually persuade the public. We can actually gain more supporter when we include the religious message, because people will actually believe religious message, right? Because most of the people in Malaysia is Muslims, and they will believe some Muslim statements. So when we have a lot of people, when we actually just include the religious message into the advocacy, it could actually attract more supporters in the to support the feminism itself. Okay, and then when the women right is actually being elevated, when they were being discussed among the members, and a lot of people just like thought, oh, this is right, this is feminism should actually be an issue, and people should actually talk about it because this is important. The woman dignity itself will be higher. It's not higher than man, but actually equal. So that's all for me. I would like to state my stand again, which this house believe that the movement in developing world should integrate religious message in the advocacy, because a lot of people should have, because women and male should have given an equal right. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you to the Deputy Prime Minister for the speech. The speaker spoke for 6 minutes and 25 seconds. Now I would like to call upon Deputy Leader of Opposition to deliver her or his speech. The floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you to the speaker. Good morning. Good afternoon to the educators, the timekeeper, and the members of the opposing team. So the motion today is the House believes that feminist movements in the developing world should integrate religious messages into their advocacy. Okay, so we as the negative team believe that this statement is very wrong. So I would like to rebut from the second speaker from the affirmative team. She has tried to tell that women are being oppressed in nowadays in this world, and she wants to talk about the gender equality rights. And I think this is wrong because I don't know why she keep talking about women being oppressed, that we only stay at home, needs to do household chores, we can't leave our own homes, and yada yada. I don't know why she keep talking about that, because that doesn't relate it to religious messages at all. So I don't know what you're trying to tell us. And also that she stated we need to attract more supporters. Okay, first of all, this is what I'm gonna say. How you want to attract more supporters if people don't believe in feminism in the first place? Okay, so then I want to recap from our leader of opposition. He stated that human opinions and religion opinions should not be contradicted. That's what I'm trying to say. How it related to her point, because she only stated about the human opinion and not related to religious opinion at all. So for today, I'll be talking to you about how this motion could be misinterpreted in the way of Islam. Have you guys ever heard of sisters in Islam? Okay, if you guys don't know that sisters in Islam was actually a Malaysian civil society organization committed to promoting the rights of women within the frameworks of Islam and universal human rights. Its effort to promote the rights of Muslim women are based on the principles of equality, justice, and freedom enjoyed by the Quran. But you guys know that the infamous Amina Wadud is also one of the co-founder for this organization. Okay, and this there is one time that one of the co-founder actually said, one of the co-founder of the Sisters in Islam once said that the God only asked us to cover our head and chest, and she interpret that as only to cover her head and her chest, but still the hair can be seen by everyone, not fully covered, like how we been taught since we was a kid, right? We've been taught that we need to cover all of our head until our chest, but not just chest and our head, just like that, just like you wearing scarf and you put it like that. And also, okay, I would like to say that how we want to integrate religious messages into their advocacy. If this feminist activists that people look up to, that people believe, that people actually join the society, the group, if they already portray a bad example, who will believe them? Why do you think these movements can affect the whole Islam society? Because you know what? You know why? Later in future, the future generation will think that it is okay to interpret the Quran or Sunnah by their own understanding and beliefs. So do you get what I'm trying to say here? If they're already portrayed like that, they think that I think that he was like this. The Quran said like this, so we do like this. They just do whatever they want because this is what they believe. They don't follow what Quran and Sunnah has taught. And also, the infamous Aminah Wadud, she leads the Muslim prayers, and you know that this is contrary to the teaching of Islam. Women can be imam, but it is impermissible to lead a prayer for men. You know that, right? We have been taught that in school. Of course, everyone knows that you all were in school, learned that in school, right? And also, the other thing that she said that the Quran and why you guys like against me? The Quran and Hadith never said that it is untrue. And the thing is, why would you want to change the God's law? We are only as His servants in this world. We must obey everything that were written in the Quran. How do you expect us to be one of the people who can be a role model to the other future young generations, the future Muslims, if we as ourselves do not follow and obey the gods? And also, you know that this is very typical that when someone disagree with any feminist movements, people will claim them as, okay, you are misogynistic. This is wrong. Why would they claim them like that when we had the right to voice our own beliefs? And so, as a conclusion, I would like to say that we not sorry, we don't disagree with the feminist movements, but we as the negative team believe that feminist movements in the developing world should not be integrated with religious messages into their advocacy at all. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to the Deputy Leader of Opposition for the speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes. Now, I would like to call upon Government Whip to deliver her speech. The floor is yours.
Referring to the second speaker for the opponent team, thank you so much, because your whole statement just showed that just strengthen the statement of that we have to integrate the religious statement into the feminism advocacy. Because the reason why we have to integrate it, because there are people like you who doesn't fully understand the concept of feminism. So what is feminism? Actually, I explain it again. Feminism is actually to fight for equality and women's right for women. And it doesn't it's not that women want to be like men, or women want what men want, but it's actually to make women feel more safer, and to make a woman feel to make women can easily live their life without men having a privilege to do everything. So in this case, that's why with a religious statement being put into the feminism advocacy. Feminism can be more understandable by the people, and people can show more support to feminism, and feminists can understand the boundaries that they should follow and they should not follow based on the religious statement that will be exposed. So there will be no woman become an imam. There will no woman do abortion for no reason, and there will be no woman do whatever they want that opposite with the Islamic law. So that's why we have to integrate the Muslim application. So based on what Dina said, the second speaker from the government, she said that women, keep talking about staying at home, keep talking about you said that you have no clue why Dina always, second speaker, always say about that. Yes, women in India, actually women are encouraged to be stay at home. They are not allowed to further their education. They are being oppressed every day. For example, like one of the recent news I got from the social media in India, her name is Asma. She actually got oppressed by her husband and by her mother-in-law, which her private part got stitched because they want to avoid illicit intercourse before marriage. So after marriage, her husband opened that stitch, and when she told opened that stitch in front of her mother-in-law, and when she told her mother about it, her mother's reason was simple: we have to obey men. We have to obey our husband. We should not be opposite of their opinion. We have to fully obey them. That's why feminism is actually has to be strengthened, not just in Malaysia, but in all countries. We are talking generally in all countries. So yes, in Islamic perspective, feminism has raised many tensions among Islamic people. There's threat that women want to, like I said, women want what men want, and women want to be free. They want to open their scarf. No, that is not what they want. They just want to feel safe. They want an easier life. They want they want an easier life. Yes, stop for a minute. My laptop. They want an easier life to lead a better life. For example, like they can go outside, doesn't have to worry about men will come approach them, because there are many of cases in India and here that women get kidnapped, a woman get raped. There are many. That's why feminism has to fill with religious statement, because people misunderstand that the concept of feminism. They thought that feminism is only for women to be freedom. No, women want to feel safe. So no, so Asma will not go through this kind of thing, because this is just normal. It's like it's like daily thing, daily, it happened in their daily life. It means it could get worse in their country. So based on on Islamic views, Dr. Margot Badran, graduate from Al Azhar, and also support give a fix the feminism concept with Islamic perspective, which is seeking rights and justice within the woman and men in the totality of their existence, and implement gender equality in everyday life. So, and there's also one of the statement for the speaker, why men should be the leader among women. Let me ask you something. Does it have to do that? Because there are many statements from other perspectives that woman can be a leader. It's just Nabi Muhammad SAW doesn't encourage women to be leader, but they can be a leader. So we have to improve our perspective of Islam since the more years coming in, because we are our yeah. So that is all from me. So that is for me that we have to fix the feminism concept by adding the Islamic statement. Thank you.
Thank you to the government whip for the speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes. And now I would like to call upon opposition whip to deliver her speech. The floor is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The wise educator, Mr. Speaker, meticulous timekeeper, members of government team, and everyone that presents here. Today, as a whip, there are several things I'm going to do in my speech today. Firstly, I'm going to strengthen that the stance coming from my team, moving on to the rebuttals of the first, second, and third speaker coming from the side of government, and I will mark outcome of our debate and reaffirm our stance. So today's motion is this house believes that feminist movements in the developing world should integrate religious messages into the advocacy. We from the opposition team truly disagree with this statement. Firstly, from the government team, they don't actually explain in detail what kind of religious messages that feminist movement would do. They just keep explaining about what is woman right, and what they what they can't do in this society. So I would like to say that they are not giving us they are not giving us how this how that by integrate these religious messages into advocacy is helping the feminist movement. For example, they say that women is being oppressed in our society, right? In our world that we're living. That's why we need to have these religious messages and the feminist movement. But instead of that, the woman is oppressed by like men and people that think that they are weaker. And actually, we don't really need just religious messages in the feminist, but instead of we have to if we don't want the woman to be oppressed, we have to tell all the world that how we should treat women, not just in the feminist movements, because if we can see that, for example, that given by my second speaker, sister in Islam, they are truly misunderstood about about Islam, so that um, they misunderstood about Islam, and they are just doing their own way uh, instead of like in the Quran and Sunnah. So
Yeah, I please.
no, thank you. And also the second speaker, she never showed any example of feminist movement that succeed in implying the religious message. And how would we know that this nation is true? This notion is true. So next, the third speaker say that only agreeing with the other speakers and repeating the same points that the second speaker said. They should emphasize more why we would agree with this motion, because we can't see clearly why this religious message is must to integrate in this feminist movement. Like we, even if we don't have this religious message, it's not like even without it, we can still also help the feminists to get fairly treatment in the society. Even without this, they also have a right in the society, and to conclude, we from the opposition team strongly disagree that uh, that we should integrate religious messages into the advocacy in the feminist movements. Thank you.
Thank you to the opposition whip for the speech. The speaker spoke for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, both of the government and opposition are being given 1 minute to prepare their reply speech. After all of the debaters are inside the breakout room, the 1 minute will be start. I'm sorry, the timekeeper is not here. Wait. I will calculate the 1 minute myself. So you guys go into the breakout room. Open all room.
Macam mana dia nak masuk? Masuk tu ikut
The time is up. The time is up. I call upon the speaker from the opposition side to deliver their reply speech. The floor is yours.
Okay, so in a nutshell, I would like to emphasize back that we as the opposition team do not disagree with the feminism movement or feminism rights. We only disagree that feminism movement in the developing world should not be integrated as really should not be integrate religious messages into their advocacy. We only disagree about that and not about the feminism rights. So first of all, back to my leader of opposition has stated that human's opinion and religion's opinion should not be contradicted. So basically, it's only a human perspective in order to satisfy the society. And so as the feminism, we shouldn't be so selfish that only think about what will satisfy and beneficial to the um, to our to our group, to the feminism. And we should be thinking about wholly for the whole world, for the whole society, and maybe even the religious society. And secondly, back to my point about the misinterpret the way of Islam. So I would like to say that if we don't have an example, a good example of uh, any feminism activists or any feminism people who join feminism, how would we think that people would like to listen to us? People will believe us because we already show a bad example, and if we want to integrate the religious messages into the feminism advocacy, um, we should be thinking what will not affect the whole Islamic society, and what will happen to the future generations that will see us as the past and their role model. And also um, as this feminist movement, we should not disobey any God's law, and we must obey any rules that God had stated in Quran. And because of this, this is why we should relate it back to the feminism movements, because we not just be thinking about feminism, right? We should be thinking how this religious will relate it to the feminism movement. And also and, and I think that we will win this we the more I think we will win this because that and the government team never stated about any example of religious messages that has portrayed to show that we should agree that feminist movements can integrate religious messages into their advocacy. So, lastly, I would say that we as the opposition team strongly disagree that feminist movements in the developing world should integrate religious messages into their advocacy. That's all from me.
Thank you. Now to conclude, let's welcome the speaker from the government side to give their reply speech. The floor is yours.
Okay, to conclude, we, as the government side, strongly believe and we still stand up with our own in from the motion that feminist movement in the developing world should integrate religious message into their advocacy. Okay, first of all, feminism should be practiced as it is one of ways to achieve gender equality, and it is also for the women's right. As why the second speaker of my team, he said that eh, that in India the women are being oppressed and just being at home. But then there's also this one Indian woman that has raised up these feminism issues, and even his husband was one of a pillar and supported her because her husband also realized that this kind of oppression should not be used against the woman. Also, um, also that um, like my third speaker of the government said that even the private parts of the woman is being sued to prove the husband that she is um she is virgin. So it's like the man is being treated so highly and the woman is being treated like a servant. So we should elevate the woman's right, as even is in Islam. Prophet Muhammad also stated that we should be respect the woman. We should respect the dignity of the woman. We should elevate woman's level. And even we has been taught that we should prioritize our mother 3 times before our father. And also we we demand feminism is not because we women wanted to become a leader, but we want an equality. We That's why I think that the opposition team doesn't really understand what feminism means, but I think that's what feminism. We don't want to become a leader, but we just want an equality. We just want to become safe. We want we don't want men to have any rights to do everything what they wanted to us. We want to feel safer. And it's not that we should follow what's in the Quran and Hadith wholeheartedly and blindly, but we should be practicing it with a knowledge. You know, we should be we should be uh integrate it with our knowledge so that there's no misconception occurs, just like the sisters thing that the opponent team has said. And also you said that besides of just doing this feminism thing, just educate the people about the women's right. But that thing has been up for so many years and no one cares. But then when this feminism things raise up, people open their eyes, then people start to believe, start to think and raise awareness about women's right. So I think we as a government side strongly believe that this that the motion, which is the feminist movement in developing world, should integrate religious message into their advocacy because the woman itself must be given a gender equality by rights. That's all from me. Thank you.
That is all for this round's debate session. Before I end this debate session, the House would like to thank the educator Amir Hamza Amran for his assistance and congratulate all the debaters on their performance. For information, the feedback for this round will be delayed after the roll call, which is 2:30 p.m. Right now, you guys can go eat or solat. The result will be announced at the next roll call, which is 2:30. I hope everyone is clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Kak Kausar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I just leave and then isi the form kan?
Dengar Zan.
Ha-ah.
Dia dengar.
Sebab
Okay.
seorang je. Ha. Thank you.
Sekejap, ah.